think we're live. Let me just
Hello.
Facebook to see if we are live. And yes, we are. Hello, welcome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Melanie Sessa, and I am interviewing a friend and amazing woman today. Her name is Jane McCarthy. Just a little intro. I am a network marketing professional, social media strategist, and mental wellness and fitness advocate. And I am surrounded by amazing women all of the time, like Jane, and I wanted to bring her story to you today. She is the CEO and founder of JaneSTORM. She helps people and women, men and women, to find their inner purpose and to map what that looks like. Her program has served as her foundation for connecting people with ideas. And as a certified master coach, Jane is an expert in work-life balance. Who doesn't need that? She was a trailblazing telecommuter for 20 years and also job shared with a remote partner for many more years than that. And she's a great volunteer in local charities and causes. And I am honored to say she's a friend of mine and someone who's made an impact on my life. So I wanted to bring her on today to share with you the magic of Jane. And, I hope that you grab a lot of value out of it. So thank you, Jane, for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Melanie. It's so great to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. So I'm excited for people to hear your story because it's pretty phenomenal what you've been able to do with all of your skills and expertise and all of that. So just share with people, who you are now and where you were before.
So right now I am the chief brainstormer of JaneSTORM. I connect people with ideas and I am a positive force for your future. Yeah. What does that actually mean? It means that I've taken all of my experience. So my entire adult life, I worked for Verizon. And I worked in customer service. I worked in marketing. I worked in an audit. And then I landed my last 18 years. I was the program manager for Small Biz Rewards, which was a business-to-business program, loyalty program. And one of the things that's interesting about any corporate America is there's lots of shifting. There's lots of change. And every single time there was a change, I would raise my hand and say, I don't want to move. I love what I'm doing. Can I stay with loyalty? And I was able to stay with loyalty for 18 years. So it really was great. And then in 2018, in October, I was given a package. And it was a gift. I was given 15 months pay and 15 months benefits. And I had 3 weeks to make a decision on if I was going to take it or not. And I said, when am I ever going to get this opportunity again to go out and figure out what I want to do with my second half of my life? And I always thought of my program, and people always thought that my Small Biz Rewards was my third child. And I was an evangelist for it. I cared very much about it. And I knew that the handwriting was on the wall that it was going to change. And I was going to have to be involved in that change. And it was going to be a hard one. And I didn't want to be there for that. And so I made the decision with a nice bonus to walk out and leave. And it was a great, great decision.
Oh, I love that so much. So when you made that decision, I'm sure it was hard to do, like you shared. It was a huge shift in what you were going to do. So then once you said goodbye to Verizon, what were you thinking the very next day, and how were you pursuing that new direction in your life?
I was excited, scared, conflicted. It all happened so fast. We had 3 weeks to make the decision, as I said. Then we were told on December 1st if we were going to be off the payroll December 28th, March 28th, or June 28th. And you didn't know until that day which day you were going to get.
Wow.
So I found out on December 1st that I was going to be off the payroll December 28th. So there was some grief. And there was also a feeling of, wow, I'm not important enough that they want to keep me later. But the truth of the matter is I was in the company so long and paid a good salary, and my boss was staying for a while. So they knew that they could just have one of us. And so in the end, it was the best gift because I was able to cut it off in December. And then I was driving about 2 days after I made the decision on a business trip in Verizon. And I said, what am I going to do with my life? And I said, I went back to 3 years prior when I had gone down to my loyalty marketing vendor, Kobe Marketing in St. Pete, Florida. And I walked into their office and there was a huge sign that said JaneSTORM on it. And I said, what the heck is that? And they said, when you show up, we don't brainstorm, we JaneSTORM, because you connect people with ideas better than anyone we've ever known. And it clicked with me 3 years later in the car in Virginia. There's the name of my company, JaneSTORM. Didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I knew that I had the capacity to connect people. I knew that I could coach, and I knew that there was going to be something where I would be able to get inspired by people and then hopefully make an impact.
Which you do. So that, I would say, the turning point when it kind of came together. But you say you didn't know what you were going to do with that. So how did you come to doing what you are now after that turning point?
Lots of research, talking to people, and then, once again, I had this plan that I was going to go become a coach, but I didn't know how I was going to do that. And then I was offered an opportunity to go out to St. Louis to a company called Aris Sisters. And I went out there to get videotaped as an impactful woman. And I thought that would be the launch pad of whatever I was going to do with JaneSTORM. I didn't know that that night was going to be a turning point in my life, and I was going to be asked to stay. And I didn't stay that night, but I did talk to the CEO, Kelly Hager, for the next week for about 17 hours, and ended up spending 11 months working on a startup, talking to women of every race, color, creed, and circumstance, doing 53 interviews of women's stories, teaching women how to profitably public speak and about branding and loyalty in brand workshops, traveled to St. Louis 10 times, LA 3 times, and literally spoke to hundreds of women. So in the meantime, I thought I was starting my coaching business, and I ended up becoming a senior producer while learning about coaching, and got involved with the Center for Coach Certification, which is run by Kathy Liska. And I found her on LinkedIn, read all of her information, and fell in love with what she was doing. And so I got my first coaching certification last February. And I just got my second, my certification for master coaching last week. And I'm in a cohort with 8 other people across the United States to get all of my certifications for the International Coach Federation, and working towards that by the end of the year and into next year. And so it's a lot of work. I still do some consulting with Aris Sisters. It's been a launch pad for meeting the most amazing, humbling, inspiring women of my life. And moved on for now because it's a startup and we're working through that and working on JaneSTORM.
Fabulous. So tell us a little bit more about JaneSTORM. What do you offer?
So JaneSTORM is where I take people through a process of deep dive. So the first 2 sessions are a conversation, and then the next session is magic. And I don't tell a lot about it because it's a gift, and I believe gifts should be a surprise. But I will say that almost every single person that's come through it has said that it's a wow, that they get wowed by it, they are inspired, and it's impactful. Then the next piece of it is to take people through a mind map and have actionable items and pieces of information where they can tie what they want to do to dates and actually become accountable for themselves through a creative mind map. When you're looking at JaneSTORMing, you are looking at a positive impact on your life. It doesn't have to be in the 4-step process. It can be in a workshop. There are workshops that I do about protecting your core, and we talk about accountability and gratitude and optimism and loyalty. And there are other items where you can just come and have drinks with Jane. And we go through different items that you need to work on, that you've come to me and said, this is what I want to work on, and how can I do it? And so that's the process.
So having been through Jane's process, I can definitely testify that it is it's great. It helps you to bring what you've been thinking into a actual workable plan or a map, like you said, and go forward with it. So you're like, gosh, what we do with you is like what you described as an appetizer. It's like
Mhm.
the beginning stages of the big meal. So I work with women all the time who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who are looking to do something else. They've either raised their kids or they've gone through corporate or they're in a part-time job and they're like, I need to do something for me, but what is that thing? I'm passionate about so many things. How do I monetize that? Or not even monetize? Because when I use the word prosperity, it doesn't always mean prosperity in dollars. It can
Mhm.
be development in relationships, in so many things. So what would you say to the woman who is at a crossroads like you are, Jane? That corporate was over or kids are out, or like, what would you say should be their first step for embracing that next chapter in their life?
I think that you need to have grit, determination, and resilience.
Mm.
It is a very different thing to go from corporate America to going out on your own. I had a team of people working with me. Now I have a team of people, but they're my networking organization and they're people that I've hired. So it is a shift. And you have to know that every day you need to get up and surround yourself with people that help you, embrace you, and lift you up because it can get very lonely being a solopreneur. It's also one of the most gratifying experiences that I've had to take people. I would say my ideal client is someone that um, has mind clutter. And so many of us have so much mind clutter. Some is more negative than others. And being able to, in an easy process, get you through the mind clutter and get you to positivity, right? So, one of the things I love about what I'm doing today is hearing people's stories and working with them on a positive roadmap that's creating an impact. And I think that so many women get stuck without giving self care to themselves. They give up themselves for everybody else. And JaneSTORM is about being bold, being kind, and being brave. So every day I wake up and I say, JaneSTORM, be bold, be kind, and be brave.
I love that. I love that. And you must meet so many women who are in that, like you said, that mind clutter. And I love
Yeah.
how you express that because that is the first step when we're so used to being moms or part-time workers or corporate professionals. Like, okay, now I want to do my thing. What is that thing? I have all these things I love. What is that thing? So how do you feel now, Jane, that you've been in this JaneSTORM mission for a little bit now, right? And so how are you feeling? Like about this new direction in your life?
One of my favorite stories is to tell that 3 years ago, I was, a high achieving corporate America woman that was getting her review from my boss who was in Virginia. And we're on the phone and he said, Jane, what new learning do you want? And I said, I don't want to do anything new. I am complacent. I am happy. Just leave me alone. I don't want anything. If I had known that 3 years later, how exciting it would be to meet new people on a daily basis and to learn new things on a daily basis, I laugh at my old self because that is the biggest gift I've given myself is the ability to expand my mind by bringing more information and more people's thoughts and ideas and literally brainstorming on a daily basis.
Oh,
So it's so exciting.
it is. It is. So, what would you say if that isn't the best part? What is the best part of the new you in your age of abundance?
I would say it's collaboration. It's creating a new chapter from all of my foundation from the past. So taking everything that I've learned from the past and being able to use it today is what has given me the opportunity to thrive in a very, very difficult time. And I really go back to surrounding yourself with the right people. We know as in master networks that surrounding yourself with people that are out in front of the world to make a difference and see the positive light in things. Not that there aren't times where it's hard, but getting through it. getting through it, literally getting through the clutter and getting through the storm and protecting your core and moving forward as you get through any situation that's going on is what I love about what's happening today.
That is excellent advice. Whoever you surround yourself with is what you're going to become. And if you surround yourself with people like Jane, who are a positive force, who help to connect people with ideas, you're so much more likely to advance that dream that you have in your heart, whatever that is, and really embrace your age of abundance, is what I would say, is what I've experienced with you. So Jane, you're phenomenal. If people are feeling like they want to work with you, how do they go about doing that?
They would get in touch with me through JaneSTORM.com. It's that easy. And I just want to leave you with one of the things that I've been saying to myself every day is, Jane, you have to peek into your world, peek into the future. And what I mean by peek is patience, empathy, acceptance of myself, and kindness.
I love that.
So I wish you all the ability to peak this week and beyond.
Jane, you are a phenomenal force, and I am so grateful that you have weaved your journey into my life's journey. And
Feel the same.
Encourage everyone who has been in contact with this video, this interview, to reach out to Jane. I will tag her in this video. Reach out to her and see how she can help you to manage this new normal, or the dreams that you have in your heart, that you can really embrace them. You just need to surround yourself with the right people.
Yes.
All right, my friend, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching us, and have an awesome day.